Maprik MP wins court battle. One dead in robbery attempt. And emergency accident advice.
This is National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Monday's news. Our top story is a little later on, but first, a team of specialists from the National Information Communication Technology Authority, Telecom, and Police Cybercrime Unit today celebrated Safe Internet Day. As part of the day's event, the team told students at Badihagwa Secondary to use the internet responsibly and resourcefully and refrain from abuse, as they may be prosecuted.
The representatives of the ICT regulator, service provider and enforcer today spoke to the students of the importance of the responsible use of the internet. This to coincide with the Safe Internet Day.
A lot of these things come at a price. Just because something is easy and is accessible does not mean that it is also safe and right.
The message was of responsible use. Use at a time where everyone has access to the net through a click on their browser apps on smartphones.
You can also play your part, okay? In the way you engage online, in what you choose to do online, okay? Always remember there are repercussions and there are consequences for what you decide to do online. If it is negative, there are implications for that.
The internet is the world's largest information library. Students were encouraged to use it resourcefully.
Your life is beyond your grade 11 and grade 12. You must be thinking, you must be forward thinkers about what you want to become as soon as you leave Badihagwa. That also includes the use of any digital device.
The Police Cybercrime Unit reminded students that cyberbullying is a crime.
But if you think that you're smart and you will hide away, hide behind the phone that you're using to abuse someone, to insult someone, we can always find a way to get you down.
Bradley Valenaki, National EMTV News.
The Police Cybercrime Unit has warned against sharing of nude photos for personal, public or commercial use. Officer in charge of the Police Cybercrime Unit, Detective Liston Saleh, says police are already investigating several cases, amongst other overwhelming cybercrime complaints.
Some may think it's okay to send or share naked pictures of themselves or someone else in this country using current file sharing technologies that exist. But according to law, it's illegal.
It is illegal in the first place. Once you capture it in a camera and you start sharing it, the capturing part of it is basically like producing. It's electronic. So you don't need to go to a Photoshop to have it produced to its original state. As it is original state, so it is the production part of it is completed, and when you share it, you're also committing another offense. So production and sharing it by transmitting is an offense.
Speaking to EMTV today, the head of the Police Cybercrime Unit highlighted the seriousness of this matter, which is increasing.
Of personal use, then you have to justify. You make this justification yourself, whether it was not intended for personal use or how did it get to be said, because the sharing part of it is also an offense. So if you are complaining, you have to see yourself where you stand. If you have not said it, or if you said it, that offense is already there too. So you are also liable to be arrested and charged.
Detective Saleh continues, there are currently several complaints under investigation.
It's overwhelming, the number of offenses that we have received so far since our establishment and our active operation since June last year.
The abuse is part of cyberbullying and is criminal in nature. This effective per the cybercrime law of 2016.
It is not our responsibility to go and look for that, for whoever is offended. The problem is we don't know how to identify. Our people, our users do not know how to identify what type of crimes they are in cybercrimes. So they basically say, okay, it's okay, it's just another aggrieved person who's sending me these text messages and all this stuff without knowing that it is actually an offense.
Bradley Valenaki, National EMTV News.
The Western Highlands province now, 6 bodies were found miles from a flash flood which hit the Inenga people of Mul district in the province last week. On the ground, more than 3,000 people are hungry while some are homeless after the flood washed away food gardens and houses. The affected locals are still waiting for relief supplies or some sort of help from the local MP as well as the Provincial Disaster Office.
The bodies of the 6 people were brought to their home village in Mount Mul over the weekend. Among the 6 were 4 children, a teenager and an old man. Another body is still missing. 4 of the bodies are from one council ward, while the 3 others are from the other 2 neighboring council wards.
Now you go, you see picture, you looking with the water and come.
The mud and the flash flood hit the local Nenga people last Monday afternoon around 3 to 4 p.m. There was no rain to cause the Little Kuma River to flood, but nature took its own course and killed 7 people, washed away houses, food gardens, bridges, and carried away 2 excavators and some other properties.
Close to the water stab here. And me iron fire up now. Me tanim na lugi me water come.
Right now, the people are cut off from the outside world, and their food gardens and houses destroyed by the flood have seen them short of food for almost a week. They can't build new houses and grow food overnight with the trauma of losing their loved ones as well as their properties. They are now seeking help from their local MP, the Disaster Office, and kind-hearted people to donate cash or kind to keep them going. Western Highlands provincial government has bought the caskets of the 6 bodies that were found. Vasanata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
1 criminal was shot dead by police and another taken into custody after Lay police foiled a robbery attempt at the JKT Lim factory in West Taraka. The 2 men were part of a group of 5 armed with homemade guns. They came through the back gate of the premises and tried to rob the staff.
A police unit was on patrol this morning when they were called to the JKT Lim factory headquarters in Lay's West Taraka suburb. They arrived while the robbery was still in progress. Armed police officers intercepted 2 of the robbers. One, armed with a homemade weapon made for high caliber ammunition, tried to shoot at police. They responded, shooting him in the head. Lay Metropolitan Superintendent Chief Inspector Chris Kunyanban, who was on the scene, issued a strong warning to criminals looking to do armed robberies in the city.
My message to all the criminals that are trying to work business houses and people, individual relationship, they're going to be very careful because our response time is very, very good with SRE units, which is just an example of it. So my message to all of you trying to do the same thing here, be very careful.
Witnesses said the 6 men came through the back gate and then went into the admin office. Staff in the compound fought with them but withdrew when they were threatened with the homemade gun.
This is the 3rd time, in fact. Twice already they've been robbed.
One suspect was arrested and taken to the town police station. He told police he tried telling his armed mate to surrender. Police are expected to make further arrests soon. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Lay.
This is National EMTV News. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Welcome back to the news. Lay's Acting Metropolitan Police Commander, Chief Inspector Chris Kunyanban, called on the Papuan compound community in Lay to have in place a law and order committee before he reopens their community market. This was his response to a petition that was presented to him on the weekend following disorderliness by some youth from the area that led to the closure of Delos Market. The establishment of the Law and Order Committee in Lay's communities is an approach set by the police boss to contain law and order issues at the community level.
The vendors of the Delos Market at the Papuan Compound community in Lay presented a petition to Lay's Acting Metsup Chief Inspector Chris Kunyanban to reopen the market following its closure almost 2 weeks ago. According to women vendors, the market was their only means of survival. Some of them have been selling at the Delos Market for almost 20 years. Representing the women, Joyce Pangila called on the Metsup to reconsider its decision and allow the vendors, especially the women, to continue their normal sales.
Namipla like him Mosem. I'm going to give him toko right law. Market blimple open. Namipla yet, Bonipla market committee, Blomipla. Look law. Maintain law and order inside law. Community, na lodisla market too.
Lodisla lilik 1 week here, market and pass. Mipili Mosem, big plus sorry true. Na one kind law nar pla mama too. Mipla pili Mosem, mipla no gatina help me play yet.
The Delos market at the Papuan compound area in Leh was shut down by the police due to the actions of some youth who attempted to hijack a vehicle and caused injuries to a young man almost 2 weeks ago. These happened during the late hours at the Delos market where vendors were still doing their sales of buai and cigarettes. The suspects were handed to the police by the women vendors of the market.
Opportunity blown business and me had room. Even when you talk about SME, you go down to the banking down there, they have a lot of requirements. You start up a business, it's very hard. So the only thing that the mothers can do is to sit down on the market.
In response to the petition, Leh's acting Metropolitan Police Commander Chief Inspector Chris Kunyanban said law and order is everyone's responsibility. Kunyanban said community leaders have to work together with the members of their community when it comes to law and order issues. Leh's police boss called on the residents of the Papuan compound community to consult and form a law and order committee before he reopens the market.
So I'm approach me like a community and police me blow one time to solve all issue. A legal issue me law and order committee. Or committees lo strategy. More big play issues, all can salimi kam la mibla police look. So community too must take him this la responsibility. All must feel him osem. This lo levi kam abia and maybe bless la community. All must solve him. All must take him ownership. So me walking finish la bumayong me talk one time online. All is line is around them all arms through long. 2 weeks ago, Mr. Mina, member of the Leh Open, and me plus still talk all mangi stabet, me process him all the time, I'll be molested him. Member making commitment blow anthem all, which me by not talk to Lesla because I'm something blow him. Me walking lo istaraka finish, market now Mr. Tating be go long market now, be looking market more organized than past them. Now you look all manage park, all make him more inogat more. Because me black at committee staff lo handle more like a situation. Tamoli go short win, all by calling me black police lo come in. So me black give him this blah release me black give him responsibility go back lo community. So one can approach me like make him not blah but Kalau kan heavy sa come up now, hari through me go so na example long Papuan compound heavy come up time only robbery money and exim car blame only statement. I mean prompt me blah react lo this la something now go. So me blah go finish talk one time also all the straight him law and order committee blow which he stop but he die. So now me blah must grab him now me blah must look only walk. So time only grab him now but me talk him on how but me blah walk one time police then we walk together.
Julie Padui Owa, National MTV News, Leh.
The Leh City Authority and the Australian Consulate expect to process up to 300 men and women for an Australian government-supported labour mobility scheme. Several businesses have given their support to this program. The first has been meat producer Prima Small Goods, who are sending 5 of their employees to work in meat processing facilities in Australia. The company hopes to use these skills they acquire over the 9 months in Australia. Registration is open for anyone interested to join the Labour Mobility Program. You can find the details on MTV Online's Facebook page or on the Leh City Authority page on Facebook as well. Moving on, a landowner company from Kainantu Mine in the Eastern Highlands has signed a joint venture agreement with Pacific Cargo Services to provide transport services for the mine. PCS, which is the transport arm of NKW, will be partnering with the landowner company Bildevco. Bildevco chairman Bantia Timpoke said this will provide an opportunity for locals to work with the company. In addition, the landowner company will also be assisting schools in Bilimoya area with computers to help students.
Business Blomipla go Pipla now. I mean, he got plan till line blow place is stop. Only no got work. Only stop nothing. So that's time he go Pipla now. Me black can try na help him all long, put him all long work. Na only can work na kisin training long this plan. Na behind me can singkupla experience na. When I'm up, only like piney walk, only can you go about lo country na piney walk na again. This part of a training to by step inside on this plan.
To our top story now, and Maprik MP John Simon has described the uplifting of his suspension as Agriculture Minister following the National Court verdict delivered in his favour today as victory for democracy. Simon was charged on 9 allegations of misconduct in office and has been undergoing court proceedings for over 3 years.
This morning, the National Court in Port Moresby cleared the Maprik MP of all 9 allegations against him on grounds that no independent investigations were conducted by the Ombudsman Commission. Simon was taken to court for payments he made to a hire car company that he owned and on the review of the election petition. The complainant in this matter was former Maprik MP Gabriel Caprice.
Victim of jealousy, greed, and this is what politics can do. And for those that suffer are the voters, the people of Maprik. For the last 8 months, for Maprik district, we just didn't have a DDA because the presidents went to election when I already got suspended. After they won the elections, they came back. There is no chairman because the DDA Act couldn't allow. So Maprik District Development Authority is non-existent up till this day today.
The verdict that went in Simon's favor has been described as a victory for the 80,000 people of Maprik district who have not seen much benefits or economic development to the district for at least 3 years. The court ruled that in all circumstances, given all the reasons set out by the ruling handed down by Justice Mivery, Simon has a no case to answer to for all the 9 allegations.
The people of Maprik are really, really happy. They are celebrating right now. In fact, the people of Maprik are celebrating, and they wanted me to go home. So I'm just like trying to find times I should. They said, come home first and go back. So they really wanted me to go home first. They forgot to also understand that I'm also Minister of Agriculture, so we also have the country for the last 8 months. So I'm going to make sure I sort out the department, sort a lot of things, then I need to go home. That's the place that's going to give me the blessing to come back and stay. So I need to go and see them. And they're all waiting for me. Like I said also, Maprik District Development Authority is not in place. Since last year, since the presidents went for election, they could not have the DDA in place because the chairman's not around. We don't have a chairman. And then the East Provincial Government couldn't get the budget across because one district's missing.
The court was unable to find any misconduct on the part of the MP in all the allegations from the reference filed. When Parliament resumes tomorrow, Simon will take up his portfolio as the Minister for Agriculture, a portfolio that he was suspended of for 8 months. Teklagunga, National EMTV News.
St. John Ambulance is calling on everyone to be very mindful during serious vehicle accidents and never move the injured persons until professional help arrives on the scene. However, witnesses must remain calm and call the number 111. Moving an injured person during such an event can cause more damage instead of helping.
St. John Ambulance Services is appealing to everyone who witnesses any car accidents to never move the injured persons. They must call for help and wait on scene.
I want to make it specifically clear that such things must be left to professionals, because it may look so simple, but you may have a stable dislocation or partial or half dislocation, we call it subluxation, in the neck, for example, and because of people who are not familiar with such management or dislocate, and then patient is paralyzed for good.
This appeal comes after such an incident happened at Hohola during a very serious vehicle collision. At 800 hours on Sunday morning, two vehicles crashed into each other. However, witnesses decided to rush the injured persons to the hospital.
Upon arrival, our units were advised that the two most critical of all casualties, two male adults, were already assisted to the hospital, and all other persons involved in the accident sustained shock.
St. John Ambulance Commissioner Matthew Cannon says they had dispatched a crew 20 seconds after receiving the call. He reiterated Dr. Yokopua's comments and says calling for help is actually saving the victim's life, especially if they are in critical condition.
We at St. John will organise the fire service and also the police because we have direct radio communication with them. If you want to help in a situation like this, the best thing you can do is call for help and wait on scene. You can hold the hand of the injured person until the ambulance officers arrive.
So from now on, when you are a witness to such an accident, remain calm, call 111 and wait on scene until the Green Angels arrive. Lilian Sopera-Kinea, National EMTV News.
This is National EMTV News. We go for another break. When we come back, we'll have more, including stories making headlines overseas. Welcome back to the news. Seventh-day Adventist churches in Port Moresby's Northeast Electorate celebrated the official opening and launching of the Moresby Northeast District at Bautama yesterday. More than 1,000 church members, children and visitors witnessed the official opening with the theme Multiplying Disciples of Christ.
Northeast District in the Central Papua Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church celebrated its official launching yesterday at Bautama. Despite the rain, the program began with a parade of Adventist youth ministries, which are made up of youths, ambassadors, pathfinders, and adventurers, the women's ministry, and Adventist Community Service, or ACS. A guard of honor was staged to welcome the new flags brought into the parade ground by the Central Papua Conference Secretary, Pastor Rex Coy, and Northeast District Director, Minister Campbell Cap. Pastor Rex Coy was the guest speaker for the district launching, and he is also the secretary for the Central Papua Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Witness him a grand opening belong one bla district mipla been created in Salong National Capital District. Now this bla district Port Moresby Northeast. Mipla open this bla district and also mipla recognize him all coordinating team and band of all pastors all work inside of this district underneath long leadership of Pastor Campbell Cap. Mipla also have him flag raising with the youth director and mipla put him this district in place for the next couple of years when by run or some district.
The main objective of this official opening is to officially declare and decentralize powers and functions to this newly formed district. The second part of the program was the handover ceremony of the upcoming coordinators and leaders for each of the departments. A dedication prayer was done by Pastor Rex Coy for the new coordinators, pastoral team, and church leaders of the Northeast District. Northeast District has 7 zones and is made up of more than 30 churches in the Port Moresby Northeast Electorate. Gertrude Gora, National EMTV News.
And a major announcement was made at the launch regarding an evangelistic meeting that will be convened in May this year in Mount Hagen. The General Conference President of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Pastor Ted Wilson, and other delegates from the United States will be in Mount Hagen to host this evangelistic meeting.
And secondly, me like Papua New Guinea, program by organized by the General Conference of the Seventh Adventist Church, all the way from America. It come along South Pacific Division, it come along Papua New Guinean Mission, na program mainly by Ost along Western Alice Mission, along Nupla Province Ploime Jiwaka. Okay, in the Jiwaka Province, and by Elder Ted Wilson, the president along Seventh-day Adventist Church, and by Kamna, and actually and by conducting this meeting, 2 weeks meeting, na mipla prepare long walking baptism of over 100,000 people.
This is National EMTV News. We go for another break. When we come back, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with football, and VTS United remain in third place after a 1-0 victory over Gulf Komara FC. Over the weekend in Port Moresby, the VTS team struggled to find their footing in the first half, but managed nail one into the back of the net close to full time to claim victory.
VTS United FC is a new team in the competition, but is showing real progress. The team is in third position on the Kumul Petroleum National Soccer League, just behind last year's premiers, Ley City FC. Both Ley City and VTS United are equal on points, with only goal difference separating the two teams. Ironically, it was VTS who handed Ley City their loss in round 5 2 weeks ago. A strong showing for VTS United, with the crowd turning up with much excitement as the third-placed VTS United took on second-last place Gulf Komara on Saturday. VTS continued their winning ways, this time downing Gulf Komara FC 1-0. The match was slow to pick up in the first half, with VTS and Gulf struggling to find options. The two teams tried their best to make the most of their opportunities, but could not capitalize on points. Gulf Komara had some close calls, but accuracy was off. The scores were 0-0 at half-time. Things heated up in the second half, with both teams desperate for a goal. Gulf Komara looked to get things flowing, but were left in disarray most of the time. It looked like Gulf posted the first goal, but it was ruled offside. VTS had a few free kicks and corner kicks off target. This added to the dismay of the crowd. But it would be VTS United that would pull through with a brilliant goal to Yagi Yasasa. To keep VTS in third spot after round 7 of the Kumul Petroleum National Soccer League competition. In other results from round 7, Tuspab Stallions from Medang defeated Morobe Wawens 1-0. Ley City gave Star Mountain a 6-1 scoreline. FC Bougainville defeated Kutubu FC 3-1, and Hekari United kept Morobe United scoreless in a 2-0 win. Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
The Rugby League and Enga Mioks will be naming their pre-season training team for the 2020 season. The Mioks have been part of the Intercity Cup competition for over 10 years and will again be aiming to make the top 6 this year.
The Enga Mioks team has been a consistent participant of the Intercity Cup competition since they made their first appearance. Many outstanding players have come out of the Mioks team, going on to represent PNG, playing for the Kumuls.
We've been in the competition consistently since '98. Every other team has come and gone, including Ley and Mosby. Yes. But we've been there year in, year out.
The team has been a flagship for the province, and though there has been violence in the sport by members of the team, Governor Sir Peter Ipatas says these players have learned from their mistakes after being suspended for 5 seasons.
So this is the first time we're giving them an opportunity to actually put in place. So now they're coming through the system very disciplined. They know that they can be kicked out. So So we'll see a bit more Engen representative in the Milks team now, because they've learned and observing their attitude.
This year, they will compete in the Intercity Cup competition with the hope of making the top 6 into the finals. Some players will be selected from the Ipatas Cup to join the team for pre-season.
Requirements that we have for the Milks is you have to play Ipatas Cup. You have to have an Ipatas Cup team before you can be eligible to play for Milks. So it's been a while since we've used that criteria. So that's why when we do select, we select from, we have our own boys from Enga that currently they have 2 teams now that are playing off.
The Mioks was started to help young men in the province play rugby league at a higher level and hopefully get selected into the SB Hunters and Kumuls.
It's a provincial team, so we base them up there. So people are, attracted to city life, the players. So as soon as they get a big name, they exit from Mioks. But we've got a consistent policy to try and bring the new and upcoming players into the team.
Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Don't go anywhere, we'll have more of Trukai Sports on return.
Trukai Sports.
On behalf of the entire EMTV News team right around the country, pleasant viewing. Good night.